What's up, everybody? Ben Rasa and Eytan Shander here for Odd Shopper, and we are back talking all things NFL playoffs. Teams have survived and advanced. The teams with the byes are now in play. So we got the Titans, we've got the Packers, and we have four absolutely fantastic matchups. The biggest spread of the four games is just 5.5 points. So I know it was, I don't know, I think for a lot of people a little boring last week, a lot of blowouts. I expect very competitive games here. From the betting market, we are back building more same-game parlays, same-game parlay pluses. We're going to talk about all that and more, Eytan. I know you're excited for these games.
Absolutely. It was far from a super wild card weekend, as you mentioned, with a lot of blowouts, right? So I love the sharper lines. I love the tighter lines here because if you have a favorite, especially a strong feel on a favorite, then you're almost getting a gift as opposed to maybe a more typical regular season line where a 3.5 might be 4.5 to 5. So if you like, especially we have a couple of home favorites here we'll talk about, but if you like home favorites and shorter odds here, I think are going to favor you more so. Maybe a deterrent to stay away from the dog or two, but I love this weekend, especially the value on the board.
Me too. A lot of options. Again, very competitive. We got to see some of these teams in action, and now we get those number one seeds here. So we're going to do what we always do. First, we're going to welcome new people to the stream. If you are watching for the first time, happy to have you aboard. Hit that like button, and if you enjoy this type of content, you like getting bets, you like learning about the process, this is the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button. Just takes a second. We'd love you as part of the team. But Eytan, let's get in to what we have built here. I'm going to bring it up. You can see here we've got a 3-leg parlay. Right now it's set to round robins. Maybe we'll dabble with a little round robin, but also we'll have the option for a 3-leg parlay. Let's get into it. So we've got the first one, the first game. The number one seed, who I think a lot of people are disrespecting, the Tennessee Titans, -3.5 at -106. So if you wait, you might get just -3. I'm comfortable taking it right now. I think the Titans are an undervalued team. Obviously, the big news is that Derrick Henry looks like he's going to be coming back. How much we see him, I honestly don't know, but I'm not sure it's that big of deal. Of course, would I like to see a healthy Derrick Henry as a Titans backer? Absolutely. But this is just a very well-rounded team. Tannehill knows what he is. He's got A.J. Brown. The defense has been very solid, just 3.9 yards allowed per rush attempt. I know Cincinnati has firepower, but I feel pretty good about the Titans on both sides of the ball if they can limit the big plays. Cincinnati at home got past the Raiders. I don't think they get past the Titans. Are you on board, and what do you see for this game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this is a perfect example of the Bengals who earned their spot, but played significantly well, like better than I think a lot of people anticipated in the regular season. They took advantage of week in and week out, just kind of the regular season as being a powerful offense, knowing that you can catch teams during the season, during the week, depending on what they're coming off of, letdown wins or not. Playoffs, things get a little difficult. Things tighten. This is same, Titans team with a coach that shut down Lamar Jackson during that special year that he had in the postseason. I could see a similar scenario, of course, different means to the same end here, in which all of a sudden this high-powered regular season Bengals offense gets grounded. Maybe simply because, Ben, it's their first time in the postseason, but clearly I think the edge here goes to the Titans to win this game, and then that factors into my second play here.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say, I don't know how much this means, but Bengals are hitting the road here, and Joe Burrow in particular. So he sat out in Week 18, as he should have.
Didn't count, right.
He has played 6 home games out of the last 7 games. So they had the multitude of these big games down the stretch at home. He only played 1 road game at Denver in Week 15. So since Week 11, that was at the Raiders. After that, he has played 6 home games and 1 road game. Going into a different environment, I think this is a pretty tough spot for Cincinnati. I think the Titans laying the 3.5 is the move, but this is why we're building a same-game parlay. You actually lean to the under 47 in this same game. Is that because of the ground attack for Tennessee? Is it the lack of offense through the air? Why do you lean under here, and why are you putting that in the parlay?
That's a big part of it. I think that the way in which, the means in which the Titans, for me, win this game is to slow down that offense. I don't see a 48-42 shootout in which Ryan Tannehill and this Titans offense survived. You mentioned the return of Derrick Henry. He's going to be out there. And some of it may be simply necessity because, hey, it's the postseason. But look, we've seen this Titans defense throughout the year show up at home. Stat that you referenced, how about this? Only 40 points per game on average scored per game, right, in Tennessee. So even offenses that are coming to town, it just seems like the Titans have a way to slow some things down. Clearly, as they haven't completely abandoned the run game without Derrick Henry. Henry coming back, you can get some points, but I think ultimately for me, this is a pull away. This is a pull away scenario where third quarter, fourth quarter, the Titans start to build a lead. And then at that point, it's getting out of there with a win. And I don't see the Bengals coming in any backdoor scenario. I think the Titans defense is able to slow Joe Burrow and that offense down. And the Titans don't need to put up 30 points at that point to win the game.
Yeah, I think it correlates nicely in the sense that for me, Cincinnati's best out is to outscore them to win a 35-32 type game.
Sure.
For me, Tennessee's best chance is really do what they do. They've only lost 2 home games all year. One was in week 1, and then they had a no-show against Houston in the middle of the year. This is a team that knows who they are. They have an identity. It's to run the football, possess the football, don't turn it over, no big plays, and just play very sound. They're coming off a bye. It feels like to me that Cincinnati's offense could be held in check. And if that happens, I'm with you. I think the game is played in the 20s. We go under here. So we have those two paired up. This is where we do it. Now we add in the plus, the same game parlay plus. Actually, my favorite of the 3 legs that we have here is Matthew Stafford in the Sunday game against Tampa Bay. Over 279.5 passing yards. I really like the spot. I liked it last week. It did not get there. But that's because the Cardinals were non-competitive. Stafford only had to throw the ball 17 times, and he had 202 yards. If he had any sort of normal volume, he would have crushed this number. Now he goes against Tampa Bay, who throws the ball 2/3 of the time. So both offenses want to throw. Both offenses are going to throw. I feel very good about this. Is there anything else that you see why we're pushing this to get our 3-leg parlay that gives us north of 5-1?
Yeah, it's never the be-all, end-all by any means, but there's an interesting trend where 10 of the last 11 games in which the Rams have been dogs. It's not every single game that Matthew Stafford has played, but he's part of this recently, at least this year. The game has gone over. And I think it's a combination of one or two things, right? Probably one more than the other each time out, which is either the Rams as dogs are coming in knowing that the only way they can get up is to throw the football aggressive. We've seen issues with their running game injuries. I know Akers is back. And the other part of it is, hey, they are a dog for a reason. They're behind. They have to come back. They have to have Matthew Stafford throw. We saw this last week where the Eagles were simply unable to keep up with Tom Brady. Matthew Stafford and that Rams offense are built to keep up with Tom Brady. So this is an easy one. I don't think we should overthink this one. This is a pass-happy, high-scoring game in which both quarterbacks are throwing. We're just taking advantage of Stafford having the lower number.
Yeah, honestly, I feel good about Brady's over as well if you want to go that route. And we're going to be talking about that certainly in future VODs here. But I think we've got a good one. We've got Tennessee minus 3.5, and we're pairing that with the under in that same game, under 47. We round it out. If we survive, we get to Sunday. We add in Matthew Stafford over 279.5 passing yards. We put them together in a 3-leg parlay. You're going to get that plus 588. You can see it right there.
Not bad.
That is a good enough payoff for me. I feel good about this. So here we go.
Well, hold on. We need to adjust for a Ben Rasa unit here. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's the ticket. After Joel Embiid's 100-point game yesterday, I don't know about that, but we're going to get
Where's
back.
the sign? Just break out the sign.
Tough scene in the NBA, but you know what? That's why we bounce back with some NFL here. There you've got it. You got the Titans. You've got the under, and you've got Matthew Stafford over passing yards. For me, for Eytan, for OddsShopper, good luck. Make sure you head over to oddshopper.com for all the projections on all these props. Enjoy these games and stay tuned for even more content on the NFL.
See ya.